Hello, this is János. It's time for another Voigt Pipe video. Now I'm looking at a question and it is, hi János, here's a question for you. Have you tried a Voigt Pipe folded for just bass? Maybe one 15-inch high sensitivity driver to use with Voigt Pipe speakers. It would be very interesting on your thoughts about that. Cheers from Norway. So actually here, let me just change here. And right there we see the answer to this question. There's the Voigt Pipe speaker and next to it the 15-inch driver. Actually it's more like a 16-inch, so the Altec 515C. I know it's called a 15-inch driver, but really it's bigger than what you get as 15 inches, maybe like a 15.5. Yeah, so anyway, that's exactly what you were asking about, and my answer is yes, it does work. However, as when you watch my channel, you know that actually this one, which is like the sub, it's not really a sub, but it's a standalone speaker. But I also tried it out as a subwoofer for the Voigt Pipe, and it does work like that. You can make it work like that, and now I'm going to talk about that, whether you might want to do that, or is it a good idea or not, or are there other methods to achieve what you want. So the most important part about that is, what is your system design goal? What is it that you want to achieve? And I would say that for most people, you might want to just experiment about it, but talking about my example and people I see is that to get success pursuing any kind of loudspeaker approach or any kind of new thing that you want to change in your system, to go into a new direction, to explore something, is first you need to have a concept. You need to have an awareness of your current audio situation, of your current system. What is it in there that is going towards a direction that you achieve what you want to hear? Maybe your goal. I'm back again. I had a couple minutes of break because I have some cooking going in the kitchen, and got myself a tea as well. And where did we left off? Now I have to retrace my steps and my thoughts. So basically I was talking about systems building and your strategies for defining what you want, and that's the most important thing. Just have a really clear image in your head. What is it that you want to achieve? I have Machiko. She wants to go out. Machi, up, come. I'm trying to grab her, but she is a little bit heavy, and then she's called Miss Velcro Cat, because she sticks to everything. She has very pronounced paws and very pronounced nails, and whenever I want to lift her, she always grabs hold on to anything and everything. And basically, if she's on a chair and I want to lift her, then I have to lift her with the chair. If she's on a rug, I have to lift the whole rug. And if there's something on the rug, it's coming as well. So, and she is really big cat, a big kitty. And she is very strong and very fierce. Actually, she's very gentle, so... but when she's in Velcro mode, then there is zero doubts about it, that she is, yep, she's going to stick. So that's why it was a little bit challenging to lift her. And by the way, now we are at our systems building strategy, and whatever goal you formulate for yourself, for your audio system, what is it that you want it to do for you? It is a good idea to include your cats, or your dogs, or maybe, I don't know, you have rabbits. I don't know, although, how rabbits react to music and sound, but I can tell that cats react to music extremely deeply. And here I have Machiko, and I also have Kintaro, but Kintaro is upstairs now with Nelly. And both of them love music, and they love different things. When I'm playing different music, either one or the other is there and listening intently, and I can see on their faces that they are concentrating on the music, on the listening experience. And sometimes it's very rare that they share something that they love, both of them. And for example, one thing that both of them love is Vangelis, the musician. And when we are playing Vangelis, then both of them are listening. and what I recommend, just as a random thought about pets and listening, is that when you see your pet listen to the music, and then you see on their faces that yes, they are listening to it, and they chose a spot, sit down at a spot to enjoy the music, I can bet anything that if Machiko does that, sits down somewhere, and I go snuggle next to her, that is the best spot to listen to that music. So they are absolute audiophile watch cats, and I noticed that with Mitzi. That was her great auntie. Mitzi is no longer with us. She's she's away on the eternal pastures. But Mitzi was my audiophile watch cat, and she was just absolutely phenomenal. Any time I was listening to music, she was always there with me, and her favorites were Bach. So if I was playing Bach or Led Zeppelin, she was just having the day. It was just phenomenal. Those were her favorites. But when I was like soldering, like sorting, measuring capacitors, she was there as well. And like chewing on the capacitor. Actually, not chewing on a capacitor, just like I was putting the probes, like test the capacitance, and she was also trying to, help with that and measure the capacitance with her bite. So you can engage your pets to further your music experiences, and then they are excellent guides who help you to indicate whether your system is becoming more musical, in a sense that it's able to transmit more of the message. And when your system can transmit a lot of the intent of the composer, then their focus and listening becomes a lot deeper, and you can see that on their posture, on their face, and often when we have a listening session like that, then Mochi would just look at me when the LP is over. She expects me to turn it to side B, and then we continue listening. And if I don't do that, she's just giving me the stink eye that, János, please flip over the LP because you really should. And then we keep on listening, and she's there for the whole hour intently watching. And if I join her at the spot she is, that it's always that spot in the room where that particular recording has the deepest integrity and deepest impact, so highest musical transmission, I would say. So that is something. So I think I share that because there's a lot of you who are just searching for something, and maybe you are into audio because once you heard something really special played back on a system that touched you at a deep level, and you want to chase that experience, but you don't know really what it was and how it was. And the most important part about it is really understand, go into yourself and find out why that experience touched you so deep, and what it was, and then start to learn and experiment, and then find out what brings you closer to your experience, what brings you further. And you will not have that exact same experience. You cannot achieve it. You cannot go back exactly in time to that same moment. But you will be able to create new moments, new experiences, and in time you will reach a system, a playback system, and not just a playback system, but a stage in yourself when you are ready to connect to music at a deeper level and look at things, look at aspects of the sound which will get you there, and have developed the ability how you can build a system that takes you there. Let me just show you something. While I was talking, she has been here the whole time. Maybe you can hear in the microphone that she's purring. I hope so. And so about that searching is that always when you build something, just have an idea what you want to achieve and why do you want to achieve it. So for example, here we have the Voigt pipe in question, and maybe something that would act as a subwoofer to a Voigt pipe. And previously I did share this in some of my videos, that if you want a subwoofer for your Voigt pipe, then this would be the proper approach. Get something like this 15-inch Altec, and then you need to build a cabinet of this size to have something matching in efficiency for an efficient pipe. But then, you also, if you arrive there, first of all, you need to have a look, and I need to have a look at the kitchen. Okay, I'm back. So first you need to have a look why you build the Voigt pipe in the first place. What is it that you wanted to achieve with the Voigt pipe? What is it doing, and why would you need to build a subwoofer for it? And if you build a sub, is it still going to take you to the same direction as the Voigt pipe does? Now, from a standpoint of someone who is purposely building a system, a Voigt pipe has two places for you. One, as a learning loudspeaker. So I always tell people as a recommendation that if it's your first loudspeaker, build a Voigt pipe and then start learning with it. And I'm not saying that because it's the best loudspeaker in the world, but it's not true that it will be the favorite of everyone. But I cannot tell any loudspeaker at all which is universal and everyone's favorite. There's no such thing. Each and every single human being has very different preferences, what we want from the music, what we want to hear from from performances, what kind of performances we want to hear and listen to, and what aspects of the performance you want. In my whole life, I met only 2 people who are interested in sound and music, who have the same preferences of what we want to hear as I do. Only 2. And I know like many dozens of audiophiles. I have heard all their systems. They shared with me what they are looking for, what they want, and out of everyone, and like talking to audiophiles online, etc. But in my entire lifetime, I only met 2 whom I share like all of my preferences. Luckily, Nelly is one of them, and that's just, I think that's the greatest unicorn thing in audio, that you have your spouse or partner, or wife or husband, who has the same preferences as you do, and not just about the as in an audiophile way, so like same aspects of the sound, because that's just the crude level of approach to it, but like the same musical goals, same things about interpretation, like what kind of orchestras we like, what kind of conductors, what kind of classical music pieces, composers, and also going to pop music or rock. We have like virtually the same preferences, and when you have that, only then will a systems approach be valid and useful. For any other person on earth who has a different preference than I have, and different goals than I want to achieve, they will have a different system and a different systems building approach that they need to follow. And on my channel, that's what I'm trying, with more or less success, to guide people towards that. And sometimes I do not make things very clear, that what it is that will guide you towards my approach, and what it is that will guide you towards your approach, because I can only talk about myself. If your approach is different from mine, I don't know. I'm making this video and maybe 10 people listen to it, maybe 10,000. And if it's 10,000, then maybe all of the 10,000 will have different approaches, different ideas. And it's not just talking about the maturity of the approach, like you are just just looking for hi-fi sound and want more hi-fi. There's Romy the Cat Audio, his channel, and I want to just show a little bit. So he's Romy, and Romy the Cat Audio. It doesn't show now, but that's audio, and this was his latest video today. I think it came out today. This is the same day when I'm making this video then as his video came out. High-end audio buy versus build, and Romy, he came up with the concept of audio practitioner, and under audio practitioner he means, maybe Romy, I'm not saying this right, but he means a person who has goals, and he knows all these goals, what he wants to achieve with his system building. Like for example, he wants to listen to, let's say, like maybe Tchaikovsky symphonies or some big orchestration, and he wants to like totally enjoy when they are in tutti, when they're forte, and you want to hear like the last bits of the dynamic details, and feel that rush that just transforms you. It's like you become one with the music, and it feels like you can run, and you're not even running anymore, you're flying. And some people like chase that experience. Others, you might be like going, like, for example, if you are a Bach enthusiast or a Dietrich Buxtehude enthusiast, and you might just be looking for harmony and balance. And these two systems, they're still talking about classical music, just different composers. But if you look into one or the other, very different systems building approach will give you the most optimal system. And he calls the person the audio practitioner, who has enough knowledge that he knows himself and knows how to identify what he wants to achieve with his audio reproduction system, and he knows what are the weak links, what are the parts that need improvement, and he has an idea how to go on about going beyond those limitations. And basically that was his take on buy versus build, whether you just buy something or build for yourself. It's more complex than that. You need to know first what you want for yourself, and then you can either buy or build, but you need to exactly know what you are doing. And it's a lot more complicated than that. There's a lot of, I have audio friends who are audio practitioners, as Romy defines it, and they don't know how to build, but they know how to tell what they want, and they have exact knowledge to know and identify where is it that needs to be changed to get where they want to go. And they know when to ask for someone who knows how to build to effect that change for them. And going back to the situation of Voigt pipes, is that what is it that you really want to achieve? Because I've been recommending Voigt pipes for several different audio practitioners, like if you have different goals. So one of them is that, what I mentioned already, is that if you are at the beginning of your audio practitionerhood, then I'm always saying, as your first loudspeaker, start with a Voigt pipe. It's the best learning tool. And it might not be what you want, might not be what you need, but it is, I think, the most powerful learning tool. It is kind of like, it teaches you the alphabet of loudspeakers. And now, when I started on this path to started to learn how to build speakers, how to modify and then design my own amplifiers and modify stuff, I started with a Voigt pipe. And then actually I thought at that time that the Voigt pipe is something that is a severe compromise, and I did not think that it can be as good as those loudspeakers which the absolute sound or high-end Mecca calls as the ultimate loudspeakers. So I thought at that time, like 25 years ago, that probably like a top-level Audionaut speaker or something big horn speaker is like a whole lot better, and this is no way compared to that. What I hope to achieve is sound that I want, and it's not just the sound. I wanted to have vocals with integrity. I wanted to have wooden instruments, wooden body instruments with integrity, and to have that kind of experience relate to me, that I have when I listen to violins, when I listen to people singing, guitars, etc. And what I learned during my time with audio is that there was a lot more potential to Voigt pipes than I thought at that time. And actually, even then, when I built it, the first time I listened to it, it was way more than what I expected, way better than what I thought I'm going to have. I thought when I had it, I thought that I will achieve that kind of sound like 10 years later down the road, what I achieved right away with the pipes. And then basically the rest of my audio journey was to figure out that the pipes were as good as they were, and what I needed on my audio path was just to refine and fine-tune the rest of the system I have around my pipes. And the pipes were never ever the limitation to what I wanted, how I, as an interpreter, because your loudspeaker is the interpreter of the sound. And for me, the authenticity of interpretation is I have what I would call as a sensitive hearing, and often when I'm at a concert, if it's like a jazz venue or something smaller, it just hurts my ears. It's just I really always wish they would play a little bit quieter, and that would be perfect. And when I reproduce like jazz music through the Voigt pipes, either the one that I recorded my friend Taltos when they played live, and then I replayed it on these, but what I replayed, I liked it better than what was live. And just because it's just a few dB, not much, maybe like 6 to 10 dB quieter than the real concert, but it gave exactly the same feeling, same ambience, same presence, that I'm there at the cafe and they are playing and there's a live jazz concert, and I can just, you know, almost like jam with them in my thoughts. Because for me, that's the only way jazz makes sense, is that if you are there when it's happening. Most of the time, when I hear most of the jazz recordings, I think it's really painful if it's just recorded and you listen to it as a recording. I think the essence of jazz is being there when it happens, and just like listening to it as just entertainment or educational. It's kind of like flipping through a telephone book or a math book and just seeing equations like 1 + 1 = 2, because it's like really complex mathematics in music. And there's good jazz where it's also music, but more often than not, jazz musicians forget about the music and they just totally get fixated on the abstract. And if you are a mathematician, yeah, it's absolutely fun just to keep track of it in your head and go after the mathematical progressions expressed in sound. And there, for example, if you want to absolutely go into that really deep, the Voigt pipes, they do it for me. I can achieve that. But if you have preferences that you need to have at least as loud as you are there at the concerts, or even louder, then the Voigt pipe won't do that for you. It doesn't have the ability to play like 110 dB or louder. It just can't. And then that's the approach when you need to go like multi-way. And then there's Romy the cat. Where is it? So I'm giving him back to you. And his approach is multi-drivers, like lots of different drivers. and he's using horns, so multi-horn system, like I think 6 or 7 horns or drivers or ways. He calls them channels, and that's something that those of you who heard my videos before, that's not my path, but I'm not saying that it's not a valid path. If you want to listen super loud, then going multi-driver, that's your approach. But then that's going to give you certain compromises. For me, according to my perception, Romi's might be different. And also, he has that advantage that I don't have, is that he has optimized his multi-driver systems to his needs. So he's not listening something commercial, which I've been doing when I heard those super multi-driver speakers, and in a commercial approach, I didn't like those super multi-way speakers. What I heard, that was that did not connect me to music at all. And however, also the other way is true. Romy hasn't heard any commercial single driver speaker that connects him to the music, and that's how we, both of us, we 100% agree on something, that when you have just a generic approach, just like saying like single driver way is to go, or Magnepan's the way to go, or maybe plasma speakers or whatnot. So if anyone is telling you just there's one way and everyone is a moron, that doesn't work, because for me there's only one way, for Romy there's only one way, for you there's only one way, and how you can find out which is your way is listen to him, listen to me, listen to others, and I think that's why YouTube and the audio community online is something extremely powerful, because you can connect to people who are what Romy calls audio practitioners, and they can share their experiences with you, and then you can tell where I want to go, what I want to do. So now, going back to the question is, do we want to, where is it, there, because on my camera it's different, pointing to the left and my finger goes to the right, so, or the other way around. So there's, if you want to add a sub to the Voigt pipe, it, in some cases it works, and in some cases it will fail massively. And the obviously the advantage is that if you just add the sub, then it will take over the lowest frequencies, and then you can push your speaker to higher volumes, you would think. But no, you won't be able to do that, because for Voigt pipes the limitation is not the low frequencies, how loud you can play. The limitation is the high frequencies. So if you add that as a woofer to play louder, you also need to add the tweeter as well. Now we went 3 ways, and when you go 3 ways with the Voigt pipe, you have lost the most important thing. It's not a single driver speaker anymore. You have a multi-driver system, and then you just have to completely rethink your approach to sound and music and amplification. How a 3-way system talks to an amplifier is something vastly different than how a single driver speaker talks. And I noticed that whenever I try to match a sub to the pipes, it always, without exception, broke that path on which I was going, and some aspects of the sound always become better, but I lost the goal where I wanted to go. So that's why I never managed to have something where I have a woofer combined with a Voigt pipe. And but I also have to say that that's because I have went really far down the road of optimizing my system, voicing it for the pipe, and then any kind of addition, because if you add the woofer, it's not just adding the woofer. How you also have to add the crossover. How do you drive the woofer? Do you cut the frequencies on the pipe? What do you do? All of these will just make or break the integrity of what you are looking for. So it's not just a question that I'm adding a sub to have better frequency range. It is like, am I still keeping to the same path, to the same vision that I'm going to? Am I going for my goals, or is it changing to something else? So I think that's something that you might want to more think about. And what I want to share about this example, that even though the Altec would work as a woofer for a pipe, or maybe you could try other brands, but in those cases the horse's leg will stick, the horse's lame leg will stick out as always. I think the Altec is the only one I searched so far that can play game with the quality pipe. If you go something like Beima or something, it's utter horror and tragedy. Don't. But if you go for an Altec, then do not pair it with the pipe. Then just add the compression driver for it, Altec compression driver, and go for the whole voice of theater system. It will be much more balanced sounding. So I hope this answers the question and helps a little bit on on your audio path. Thank you for listening. Bye bye.